Hello and welcome to Corby TV. I'm Chuck, this is Michael, and if you're watching on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button. Now, we are joined today by somebody who's described in the Matchday programme as a director. He, of course, is Paul Glass. Is it safe to say you're the man that holds the purse strings?
Oh God, yeah, from the sins, yeah. Yeah, I am, Chuck, yeah.
So, but let's start from the very beginning. You've been involved in the club over 8 years, but ultimately you're a fan.
Yes.
And on Saturday afternoon, Corby Town beat Sutton Coldfield 3-1. Mm-hmm. Were you happy with the result and particularly with the performance?
I was delighted, yeah. Obviously, I've been living abroad for a few years, and yeah, I don't get to see the club as much as I used to, or as I wanted to. A couple of years of that was ruined by COVID anyway. But yeah, I was really impressed because I have come here and seen some poor performances when I've come back. Notably, I came and I think we got beat by Daventry 1-0, a terrible game. Also the FA Cup game when we went out, I think we had one shot on goal, the other team. But it was really good to see the team on Saturday. Loads of heart, loads of spirit, played some really nice football. I like the new signings that the manager's made. I think we're looking strong, got loads of momentum. Yeah, fantastic. Met Gary on Saturday after the game, and yeah, he seems a top man. Real good appointment for us. So yeah, well done to Stevie and Chris for getting him in.
And of course, it's all fan driven as well. Fans are really behind the team at the moment because it does feel as if the team are performing and doing the right things at the right time and making it work on the pitch.
Yeah, they are. I mean, sort of hats off to the fans. I've got the hat on now. But yeah, they've stuck by the club, getting good crowds. You know, we have had some rough times, some poor performances, but I think, you know, we're really seeing the benefit of it now. And it's a proper football match, that driving rain and the drum going and all the fans singing, which is how we like it. We like them all to be happy. But yeah, the atmosphere inside the stadium was really good.
So that's on the pitch. Beyond the pitch, of course, you've got what happens elsewhere. And as I mentioned, you seem to be holding the purse strings. You've been involved with the club for 8 years. How has that been for you?
Yeah, it's been difficult at times. But as I said, Corby Town, I'm a supporter first of all. It's my passion. I think a chap called Paul McCauley, who still comes around the club, he got me involved to sponsor the away kit many moons ago. Got involved with the club, seen games like the Kidderminster game and the floodlight failure. I've been up here as a kid anyway. I've been to Occupation Road as a kid, and when the club was, you know, really hit the skids, so didn't want to see it go under. So when we came, managed the debt, had a wonderful promotion. Thought it was going to be easy. Then, you know, we've had some issues after that. But I mean, the club itself is probably in a better position than I've ever known. We're debt free. We've got a fantastic facility here. Kind of my job at the moment is to go out and push the club onto the next level, which I've been busy doing, along with James Longley. He's helped me out an awful lot. We've got Stevie as fantastic chairman. You know, he puts his heart and soul into it. An army of volunteers. I'm speaking to 2 of them here. So there's a lot that goes into running the club. I see my role, and James's in particular at the moment, the club is sustainable, but we need to make it sustainable at a higher level. So we're being kind of active, looking for ways that we can do that. So yeah, there's quite a lot going on behind the scenes. We've been looking at getting some new investment in. We're going to be doing a share issue. That will involve the share issue against the money that I've put in over the last 8 years. But it isn't so that we can take the money out, it's so that we can get people to invest in the club. So I think, you know, going forward, the future's bright for Corby. Our plan is, and James is, and some of the people that will be getting involved soon, some Middle East based, to push the club really forward with this blank canvas and this fantastic stadium we've got, and hopefully get Corby Town to wake up the sleeping giant, to get us to a level. I mean, I'm a Corby lad first and foremost, so I want Corby Town to, under my stewardship or guidance, to get to the highest level it's ever been. So we're looking to really push forward over the coming seasons.
It could be deemed at the moment that we're in a fantastic position to play on, to get to the playoffs, to maybe go through and be promoted. If that doesn't happen, is that a wasted season, or do you think that was already in the mix, that it was going to be a difficult season for us anyway?
Well, I always had hopes that we'd get promoted, to be brutally honest with you. I think we've got the resource here and the capability to be there. I mean, the level we're at, let's not beat about the bush, is probably too low for where we should be. We're minimum a Southern League club without this additional magic that we've got going on. So I think we're a Conference North team that we should be sustaining that. And then pushing on from there, really. I'm hopeful. I think we've got momentum at the moment. If we don't manage to secure promotion this season, it's a must for next season. It's a definite. But I'm very confident in Gary. I must say, I think he's an infectious character. I think he's really got the lads playing for him. The team spirit seems fantastic. I spoke to quite a few of the players after the game on Saturday, and they're all really happy to be here. And you can't beat momentum coming into this end of the season. So we get teams here, big gates at home, them fans behind us. Then I think anything's possible. Obviously we had a managerial change in the middle of the season, which wasn't ideal. But I think the goal would have always been playoffs as a minimum. So I think. There's never a wasted season at Corby Town. The goal is always to do as best as we can and get promoted. I mean, I think at this level we should be going up. And then in the Southern Prem, we've already been there once before. The jump from the Southern Prem to the Conference North is huge. It's cosmic. From this level to the Southern Prem, it's not anywhere near the same jump. But my job is to get enough resource in place so that we're competitive at whatever level we're at. Hopefully this season we surprise a few coming to the back end of the season and playing in a different league next year, please God. But if not,
there isn't one of those.
If not, we'll go again next year.
Facilities at the club. Obviously, we saw a downpour Saturday afternoon against Sutton Coldfield Town. And you've got one very open end of the pitch. Is there any possibility there that something could happen to either a cover in or a small stand that would help the supporters in not getting rained on? Because you don't want a band of umbrellas behind the goal, do you? 15 golf umbrellas behind the goal.
No, I've seen a few fans soaked in the bar after the game. I do listen and hear stuff on social media and what the fans do want. It's certainly something we'll look at, a covering down there so that we can get behind the team behind there on match days. But I'll have to have a look and speak to the ground, the capabilities we've got. I know there's access issues and things like that, but I'll certainly look at it. You've nailed me before. Came on air, Chuck. So,
well, these are the kind of questions that fans do ask, and they'd like to know. And I think the fans have always got the club at their in their first thought. It's in the heart. This is the problem about being a supporter.
Yeah,
you want the best for your club. Mm-hmm. You want to see it improve. You want it to see it better. Mm-hmm. And when you invite other fans as away supporters, then we don't really like them, sure, but they're great people. We want to show off what we've got, and we've been to some great grounds. Mm-hmm. We've also been to some awful grounds. And I think that's something that maybe fans and anybody involved in football just wants to show off. Look what we've got.
Well, we're continually investing in the club. We're sitting in it now, aren't we? So we've got the media room, these new toilets put in. We've got new changing rooms in the old downstairs bar, which are fantastic. I've heard the Football League standard, which is the dream. Obviously, we've got the stand here. Yeah, it does. There is somewhere where we could look to improve. There's a number of areas we are looking to improve. It's like the outside training pitch. I mean, I go to a lot of grounds and I look at what they're doing and what they've got and income streams and things like that. But we need that floodlit, and ultimately we need a 4G out there. A stand down the bottom of the stadium is something that we need as well. So we'll have a look at it. There's a number of funding options and things available, but none so many is getting promoted, Chuck. So when we get promoted, we have more money available.
Well, let's look at that slightly, because obviously the victory on Saturday meant that we got 51 points. Is that right? 51 points. I'd have to look.
54,
We're on
I think.
54.
54.
There's another team on 54. If we beat Spalding on Wednesday night, I don't think. I think you're going to miss that, Paul, aren't you?
I'll be here.
Good. Coverage still available here on Corby Town TV. But if we're successful in that game, then we go on to play the team that we will leapfrog in the league with Spalding Kelson next weekend. That will be a huge game. But it seems to be written that we're doing great guns, and it's strange this morning that Hales Owen has sacked their manager and brought in what looks to be their old manager again. It's all in non-league football. It all happens, doesn't it, in football?
Yeah, well, we've got an ex-player, haven't we? Elliot has taken over at Spalding, so some managerial changes at the high end of the table at this end of the season, which is quite surprising. Hales Owen have obviously hit a little bit of a bad run. Well, we can only do what we can do ourselves. So, I think the boys seem to be up for it. I think they've got belief. The manager certainly has. I have. We're going great guns. So we've just got to really look after ourselves. And what'll happen, will happen.
So money coming into the club. You're talking share options, possibly, and trying to work around that capability of bringing more money into the club, but also making it still float and it be viable. If there is a share option, is this something that would go out to the fans? Could they buy into it?
It will go out to anybody. But it goes out to anybody. But basically what I'm looking to do is, I think myself and James own 52% of the shares in the club, but we cover 100% of the bills or the losses, or whatever it is to keep the club floating. I was doing it myself for the 6-7 years kind of prior to that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer this debt that the club would owe me, if you like, into the share holding. So we're going to offer it. That money will not be taken out of the club, it will go back in, but in return there'll be shares in the club available. The reason we're doing this is partly because we have got potential investors coming in. So, it's lighter work if there's many hands. So I'm not precious about being the majority shareholder or owning Corby Town Football Club. I want the club to do as well as it can do. So to do that, we have got this fantastic facility. We have got this sleeping giant. We need to attract in new money. I mean, I'm not the be all and answer to Corby Town, but I can help facilitate it. I'm a Corby lad at the end of the day. If we can bring people in that can improve the club off the field financially, then so be it. And we have got a number of interested parties. But what I want to do is get them to put the money in, get them to have some ownership, get them to share the cost, and also have the same vision and dream as we've got of pushing the club forward. I mean, I want Corby Town to be at the highest level it possibly can be. And me as a Corby lad, if I can get it higher than it's ever been, would be my dream, really.
Being a fan since the age of 16, which was about 3 or 4 years ago, I've seen Corby Town in all states. I remember when Jimmy Kane was outside the gates, shaking a tin, saying put more money in the coffers, and now it sounds very, very positive.
Yeah.
It sounds as if we're on the right tracks. There's no derailing. We're in the right place, right time, and this is the time to strike.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. It has been difficult over the years. I think when we inherited the club, it was £360,000 in debt. So we were a whisker away from going bust. And at the time, maybe that would have been the option a lot of people would have took, but we didn't. We negotiated, we worked our way out, we paid it. We done everything we could to keep the club afloat, rather than it go pop, which would have put us down into the UCL. Now, as it happens, we've gone through a lot of pain, but as with everything develops and changes. I was a different person when I came into the club 8 years ago than I am now. So everything kind of changes and continues. But what has happened is the club is in nowhere near danger of going bust. It doesn't owe any money. It's in good nick. It's a fantastic investment opportunity for people when I'm going and speaking to them, because anything they put into the club immediately goes onto the pitch. It's not having to pay this or this debt here or that debt there. So any potential investors coming in will see the benefit of their money immediately. and you know, fair play for Gary. He might have just got the job at the right time, you know. So you know, it is. We are ambitious because of the time we've been in at the club. We know what it takes at each level. Certainly up to Conference North. When we were there, we were, you know, too soon. We were miles behind where we should have been. I now know that if we go into Conference North, for us to be really competitive, we're going to have an £8,000 to £10,000 a week budget, not the £3,500 we went in with the last time with a load of debt saddle behind us. So we've got the platform to be able to raise that, and I think the support will come. You know, we've got a real hardcore band of supporters. It's like what you're saying when Jimmy would have been out there years ago. You know, fantastic servants of the club, Jimmy. But we were having 70, 80 fans. You know, we're over 500-600 every game. You know, we've got our own stadium. We're in a great position. You know, the old enemy down the road are probably in a lot worse position than we are, even though the leagues are totally different. You know, so yeah, we're in good shape. We just need to get to a better standard of football and give the fans some success that they deserve, really.
There is a potential, of course, that fans in this area, there's more people moving into Corby. There's people moving up from London into the very expensive houses outside Prior's Hall. I can't afford to live there. Different matter. Now, but they're the people you've got to bring into the club. You've got to. It's about involving them, or at least making them aware that there is this fun activity to do on a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, there is. But you know, we do a lot of work. I mean, we go around the schools. I mean, I think if you look at the moment, our youth section, which is huge, we've got over 500 people playing for Corby Town. Never mind, you know, we've got nearly as many players in the youth section as we have fans. We get up here, you know, so we're kind of building for the future. I mean, if you go around Corby Town Centre, you'll see Corby Town hats, jackets, you know, shirts everywhere. I mean, a lot more than you used to see.
Oh, no, certainly, yeah.
So we are getting a lot of youth, as you can tell by the crowds we have now anyway. So there's a lot of youngsters come up. But that hopefully will build fans for the future. We do try and get them all involved. I think Stevie was saying to me that the youth setup we've got is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, in Northamptonshire.
Right.
So yeah, it's you know, when we came here, we had a first team. That was it. Now we've got an academy. We've got women's, ladies teams. We've got, you know, walking football. We've got all kinds of different football teams playing. You know, in some ages we've got 3 or 4 teams. So that's something that we are really a community club. So I think that's how we're gonna get our fans for the future, really. And success brings people in.
It's an interesting thing to say, though, community club, isn't it? Because that's where it's got to come from.
Yes.
And they've got to help us as well as us helping them.
Yes.
But and we are inclusive. We want to involve all the clubs that we've got here at Corby Town. Anybody that plays under that banner, we want to sit down and talk to them. You know, that's we want to spread the word. Because that's where you get the players from, that's where you get the supporters from. So I think going forward, at the moment, we're in a fantastic position, and I feel very lucky to be sitting in this seat with Michael filming. So yeah, and the 15 cameras that are in front of me. You wouldn't believe it. Very high tech.
I'll make sure you get my good side.
So have you got? So
and a heart shot.
But you've got obviously lots of ideas of where you want to be in the future. Can we ever see you in a kit? Do you think that would happen? With glass written on the back?
Well, no. Hopefully, we're not going to be in that position. No, pitch, mate. Yeah. About as much chance of seeing me in the kit as you, Charlie.
Doesn't come in this size, I'm afraid. So yeah, but obviously it's great to have you here, Michael. What have you got? You're on the side there. Come in, good buddy, on the side.
I'm your sidekick. That's the thing, you see. I just sit here quietly and then try and think.
I tell you what, things like this impress me. You know, so when Corby gets momentum, Corby's very much for Corby people. You know, we can see it with lots of different things. A football club, young Jordan, the MMA fighter. You know, Corby people really get behind Corby people. But when I look here and see all these companies here, you know, we just want to bring a bit of success and. I think the momentum will roll. I mean, Corby's a unique place, isn't it? We love it.
It always has been. It's because of that. It's got certain uniquenesses attached to it that have been bolted on. So yeah.
Yeah. So I think once we get a bit of momentum going, a bit of success on the pitch, it makes the town feel good. You know, I want an FA Cup run. I love that Kidderminster game up here and Luton Town. You know, we want them kind of days. kind of back, but sustainable.
How difficult is it for you living abroad to actually keep on top of things? And do you have people? Is a lot of it on Zoom calls and things like that?
Yeah, well, you know, we've got some real good stalwarts at the club. You know, there's yourselves. I keep abreast of most of it via the social media and things that are there for Corby Town. You've got Macca, and you know, I get to hear a lot. Obviously, we've got Stevie, who when I came in and got the club in the first place, when we put ourselves together, and I knew Stevie. He was an ideal man to come in. His passion for the games, you know, unquestionable. His passion for Corby Town as well. Chris Mallender does an awful lot behind the scenes from a business point of view. You know, helps us. You know, it's invaluable. And then the army of volunteers we've got. I mean, there's so many to thank. We wouldn't be able to survive without it. You know, so there's a lot of. Yeah, we've got a good team there. Although we are always looking for new people to come on board.
Indeed.
You know, we're open to new ideas. You know, we can become stale. We need fresh ideas. Change is good. You know, we are always looking for new people to come on, new ideas, new impetus, new passion. You know, new drive. So it's not something that we're not wanting to happen. I'd love the board to expand. I want to hear people's ideas. You know, been looking at bringing somebody on from the supporters recently. So any applications come across, we wouldn't mind.
I'm sure that we can open up this kind of venue, and well, not so much venue, but this audience to some of the supporters if they want to come talk to us or have conversations with us. We want your ideas and to understand how you feel being out on the terraces watching Corby Town, currently on a run of 5 wins. I mean, it must be tremendous going home at the end of the day, and it's great talking to people around the stadium because you know I go and walk around.
Well, it is
the
when we're
stands,
winning, Chuck.
It is when we're winning.
Because I came, when was it here? It was my own mates that started it. So I walked down there. I think I can't remember what game it was anyway. We got beat, but I got the glassy out shout. Luckily, all the fans didn't join in with it, but yeah, it's a fantastic place. What fantastic support! Some really good people around the place, and you know, it's fun. It's a passion. I love it. I love the place.
It's better than shopping on a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, well, I don't do that anyway. Yeah, but with what you're saying about the being abroad a bit, it's kind of been dissected with the COVID. So, you know, we've lost quite a few seasons. But yeah, I mean, my plan is to spend a lot more time back in the UK now anyway. And come up and enjoy myself at Steel Park as home and away, follow the team home and away. If I'm in the country, I'm at the games, it's as simple as that, you know. And my intention is to be here a bit more.
And I guess when you're out of the country, you've got this now, haven't you?
I've got Corby Town TV now.
Yeah,
yeah.
And everything that is done, the volunteers and everything like that, they'll all come in here and talk, and you can hear their views and what they do and their point of view. That must be helpful.
It is. It's going to be great. I like these podcasts. We want to be open, transparent, communicate with everybody. You know, it's it's good. And this is very professional. It's fantastic. It's where we want to be. You know, we need to raise our standards and keep them up there, and to push the club forward. Raise
awareness and keep the profile high.
That's it.
So yes,
and you're certainly the man for the job.
Well, yeah.
I heard you a bit of Jerry Lucas would have been proud of you by
that. Well, you know that's a weird thing because if it wasn't for Jerry and what happened there, and obviously we still miss him dearly, but you know,
we've lost a couple of this season.
It's been a bad season for people who've lost at the club.
I mean, Wilf, fantastic bloke. I knew Wilf all my life from childhood, and fantastic servant to the club. Jerry, proper gentleman, you know, a legend in non-league football, really. So a couple of real sore ones for Corby Town this year. So I think, you know, even in their memory, we've got to drive on and do as best we can, you know. I mean, 2 fantastic people, life and soul of the club, and really bad for us.
And I guess going forward, you've had somebody like Macca who stepped in, just taking that role on board, which you seem to be doing a fantastic job.
Apart from supporting Rangers.
These are not the views of Corby Town Football Club.
No, it's not.
Beyond that, do you see any other younger people coming up that could take senior roles within the club at some point? Because obviously
I'm speaking to 2 of them.
it will get to a stage where, you know, what's happened this year will continue to happen, obviously.
Oh God. Okay. Well, I'm not groom a replacement for myself, okay? You know. But, yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm throwing it out there. We're open. We want new people. I want new blood in the club, and we want people to come in and have the passion of all of us. You know, to take the club forward. There's always the club's going to be here a lot longer than any of us, so we need to keep moving forward and bringing people in to do the best job for the club at the time. You know, even with myself, if there was somebody that could come in and do a better job than me, I would step aside happily for the sake of Corby Town. I want the club to do well. So, yeah, we want new blood, we want new ideas, we want people to, you know, no idea is bad. Let's look at everything.
I was also thinking of people that are no longer at the club. A great tribute to Dick Dighton at the weekend.
Well, Dick's my father-in-law, was he? Yeah, the father-in-law. So it's my little boy Max's granddad. So he was a fantastic bloke, Dick. Had a lot of time for him. Sadly, we'll be laying him rest on Wednesday, actually. So we're going to Dick's funeral and then coming up for the game. But yeah, great guy, great goalkeeper, goalkeeping coach here for many years. Played here. Made his debut for Corby at a very young age, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
Not even 16, I don't think. So yeah, very sad. Great mate of Wilf's as well.
Indeed, yeah.
Good Liverpool fan.
Well, you know, I have seen a picture of Wilf and Dick and Coutinho when he played here at Steel Park. So it's great, you know, there's history there. Memories are being made all the time and we just don't appreciate it. But we'll try and get hold of that picture and share it on social media. Yeah,
because there's something there. So when we're talking about new ideas and stuff coming in, I mean, if we get an idea, that was Tommy Wright. I mean, Tommy was great at the club. But he had the idea, we've got to dream big. So it was, let's do a Steel Park tournament. So when, you know, that idea, I don't know any other non-league clubs that would do that kind of thing. So we're Liverpool, we're flying Porto over and PSV. Don't get me wrong, lost a fortune on it. But I financed it and backed it because I thought, yeah, this is a great idea. It's where we want to be, with high profile, good events on. So, so them kind of ideas, there's no kind of limit to what we will do. Like you say, having Philip Coutinho gracing Steel Park, or it was some achievement, really. So yeah, that kind of thing is something we want to do. We want the club up there. You know, we want to do those sort of things. It's been a while, obviously, since we've done it. We've done it 2 years on the spin, didn't we? But yeah, we're open to all kinds of ideas.
If you need to contact the club, do so in the usual kind of ways. Direct mail us either on Twitter or the other one, Instagram, why not indeed, or contact or leave a message on the YouTube channel itself. As I say, please hit the subscribe button. It's very useful. And that makes us money as well. It could make us money as well. There's no money in YouTube. YouTube are going to come back to me now, aren't they? It's a shocker. Anyway, Paul, I know you're busy. Michael's got to edit this. It's a busy life. I've got half a cake to eat at home. So thank you very much, Paul Glass, for joining us here today in the Media Centre. Michael,
thank you, Michael. Top man.
Thanks.
Cheers. Keep up the good work, boys.
And stay tuned for more of these podcasts as we make them. Thank you.